Hello class 9 students. Today we will going to discuss about the chapter 7, that is volcanoes. In the previous chapter we have already covered various types of rocks, their formation, associated phenomena. In this chapter what will we learn? We will learn what is volcano, its different types, effects of volcanoes and the important volcanic zones all over the world. Okay, let's start this chapter. At first we have to know what is a volcano. A volcano is a vent in the earth's surface or the earth crust from which the fiery hot magma erupts from the earth's interior. So the hot molten magma are in the interior of the earth. They are situated in the interior of the earth, but when they comes out in the earth's surface and flow as the lava, these phenomena, and this is just done through a volcanic vent which is a tube like feature. Okay, so the volcano is a vent in which the earth crust, the fiery hot magma is just coming out, or you can say is just erupted from the earth's interior. Okay, so what are the causes of volcanic eruption? The process of erupting of the hot molten magma is called the volcanic eruption. Now we have to know what are the different causes of this. Okay, so the main causes are: number 1, the heat and pressure inside the earth; number 2 is the plate tectonics, and the last one is the magma chamber. We will discuss it. Before going to that, just see the diagram or see this feature. Like, okay, see this. In the chapter of landform development, I have already given this chart where you have some look. The volcanicity is just a catastrophic process. I have already discussed what is catastrophism and what is diastrophism, right? Catastrophism is the short term processes and diastrophism that takes a very long time. But the volcanicity and the earthquake, these two are just into the catastrophic process, that is it takes very short time. Okay, have some look. And the main causes are the endogenic forces or the internal forces of the earth. Okay, so endogenic forces, and the main source of that is the convective current. So here we will discuss about the volcanic activity or the volcanic activity or the volcanicity and the volcanoes. Okay, at first, heat and pressure inside the earth. Temperature and pressure both increase from the surface towards the center of the earth. Rocks are, sorry, it should be bad. Rocks are a bad conductor. Okay, it should be bad. Rocks are bad conductors of heat. So the heat cannot escape, rather they melts the rock. So have some look. If this is the surface of the earth, so here is the magma chamber. This is magma chamber. Okay, I will choose red color for the magma. This is the magma chamber and this is the surface of the earth. Now rocks are the very bad conductor, so it cannot go through the rocks. That is why the rocks present here are just melted. Okay, rather they melts the rock and create great pressure that forces the heat to find any kind of cracks or veins. So what does they do? They find some cracks or veins in the earth surface by which they can erupt. Okay, because rocks are very bad conductor of heat. So this is the main cause, that the heat and pressure inside the earth. Next we have the plate tectonics. In plate tectonics, when the volcanic activity is done, when two plates are just collide to each other and when they moves from one to the another, they moves apart. Okay, so if two plates are coming to each other, there can be some collision occur. That is why volcanic activity can be done. In the other way, where two plates are just moving apart from each other, there also some fissure can be generated, or you can say the cracks or veins can be generated. That is why there also some volcanic activity is done. Okay, we will discuss it. And the last one is the magma chamber. What is it? All major volcanoes that have beneath them a huge magma chamber, or you can say it as a reservoir which contains the magma, hot molten magma. Okay, and it is also joined to the earth's surface by a conductor like volcanic vent. So I have already discussed, if you have the earth surface here, this is the earth surface, and you have the volcanic vent, this is the volcanic vent, and this is the magma chamber. Here is the hot molten magma, and this, from this, the volcanic vent, it is just erupted outward the earth surface. Okay. Okay, now I will show you the diagram where you can have some idea about the plate tectonics, how they helps in volcanicity. So students, have some look that I have already discussed the three major types of plate movements. One is when two plates are coming towards each other, number 2 when they moves apart from each other, and number 3 they are just sliding over each other. No collision or subduction is occurred. Okay, so this is the plate movement. So here we have two plates, like this is the oceanic crust, or you can say the oceanic plate, and from this side a continental crust or the continental plate is coming. So they are just try to collide to each other, they are coming towards each other. So you have already read about plate motion. All the plates, there are some 7 major plates all over the world, and they are always dynamic, they are not static. They have very slow movement, but they always just moves. That is why sometimes they moves apart, sometimes they collide, subside to each other, and sometimes they just slide over each other, but always they are moving. So in the oceanic trench portion, where the oceanic plate, due to its heavy height, the continental crust or the continental plate is quite lighter than the oceanic plate. Okay, so the heavier oceanic plate can get subsided, this is just subducted beneath the continental crust or the continental plate. That is why some pressure is generated, and I have already said that the rocks are very bad conductor, that is why they just melt and coming out as the volcanic activity, coming out as the hot molten magma, coming out as a lava flow, and they flow. So this is the main mechanism by the plate tectonics, how the volcanic activity is occurred. Next picture I will show you, there are 3 types of plate movements and volcanism that I have already discussed. So you have better idea about these 3 movements. Like here you have when two plates are moving apart from each other, there the oceanic plate is subsided into the continental crust. In this kind of formation we have some fissure formation. What is fissure? This kind of, there is no vent, but this kind of formation, some cone or vent is originated, and by which the volcanic activity is done. But in this kind, where two plates are moving from each other, this kind of ridges are formed. Even in the mid-Atlantic ridge, you have already, I think you have some knowledge about the mid-Atlantic ridge, this kind of formation is there. So here we have the fissure eruption. Okay, here we have the explosive type of eruption, but here the eruption is called as the fissure because it is done through a fissure, right? That is why this eruption is called as the fissure eruption, and this is the explosive type of eruption. So this kind of eruption is also there. One is fissure type, another one is the explosive type. So this is the plate movements, and with that volcanic activity is going on. I think you have a better idea about this. Next we will discuss what are the major products that a volcano have, or by a volcanic activity what are the various production is there. A volcano erupts a number of products like steam, gases, molten rock, dust, ashes, various kinds, whether they are in the liquid form, sometimes they are in the solid forms also. The major production of a volcano is the magma and lava, and the various solid matter is also there, I will discuss it. So what is the basic difference between the magma and lava? You should have to know. Magma is the molten rock materials inside the earth's surface. Whether the lava, when they reaches the earth's surface, then they are called as the lava. So when they are in the inside of the earth's surface or below the earth's surface or in the earth's interior, then they called as the magma when they are in the hot and molten form. But until they will not get contact into the earth's surface, they will called as the magma. But when they reaches the earth's surface and flow as the lava flow, then they get contact into the air, then they called as the lava. So this is the basic difference between the lava and magma. So if you have the volcanic vent, here is some eruption is just done, like this kind of eruption is there. Okay, here you have the magma chamber, this is the magma. Okay, but after they erupted and flow in the earth's surface, then they called as the lava. So this is the basic difference between the lava and magma. Another materials that are found from a volcanic products are there, like the solid matter. Some solid matters like solid fragments in the volcanic activity are known as the pyroclast. There we can found some fine particles that are called as the dust, and the small stone sized particles are called as the lapilli. So these are the various productions of a volcano. Even with that, sometimes a very violent eruption is also occurred. This is the normal production of a volcano. Okay, but sometimes there can be possibilities of very violent eruption. Then this kind of eruption is called as the bombs, and in that they eject more materials, many more materials. Okay, sometimes sulfur is there and so many materials that are ejected from this kind of bombs eruption. So these are the products of volcano. Next we will learn what are the major types of volcano and what are the structure of a volcano. At first we will discuss the structure of a volcano. Various features in a volcano that found. The main two are the vent or the volcanic vent and the volcanic cone. What are these two? I will show you later. At first, the narrow opening in the earth's crust through which the hot molten magma comes out is called the volcanic vent. The shape of the volcanic vent is like a circular pipe. Okay? And number 2 is the volcanic cone. So one is volcanic vent and number 2 is the volcanic cone. This is the accumulation of volcanic materials around the vent that gives the volcano a conical shape. Okay, so the vent is, if you have, this is the magma chamber I have already discussed, and after that a cone is there. So the shape of the volcano is a volcanic cone, and the pipe or the circular pipe that is connected to the magma chamber and to the earth surface or the mouth of the volcano is called the volcanic vent. I am showing you the picture, you have some better idea about that. Have some look, students. This is a structure of volcano. See the diagram. There is so many things that are found in a volcano. We will discuss it one by one. At first you have some look. So at first we have the magma chamber. I have said magma chamber. So what is it? In the interiors of the earth where the hot molten magma is found is called the magma chamber. Now we have the main vent or the volcanic vent. If you have, this is the mouth of the volcano. So this mouth of the volcano is connected with the magma chamber by this circular pipe is called the volcanic vent. It is like this kind of feature. This is a long pipe. This is the mouth of the volcano and this is the magma chamber. So the connectivity, you can say the connective pipe or the connecting circular pipe is called as the vent. So the mouth of the volcano that we have found here is also called as the crater. Very important point, you should have to remember, the mouth of the volcano is called the crater. Sometimes there is only one eruption or the one explosive type of eruption. But after certain times, if there are so many eruptions after that, okay, so consequent eruption can cause the mouth is to be just get enlarged, and sometimes they are filled with water, can create some caldera lakes. Okay, what they create is known as the caldera. I will discuss it later what are they. Next, some features that are found is the secondary vent. What is secondary vent? This is the primary vent by which the magma are erupted, but sometimes some very narrow fissure or the narrow cracks are also found. Narrow, you can say narrow pipe like feature, same feature as the main vent have, but this is short and narrow feature. This is called as the secondary vents. In the same way, this is formed as a cone. This is a cone like feature is called the volcanic cone. In the same way, the secondary vent also creates some secondary cone. So there are so many features in a volcano that has. In the same time, we have another time like when lava are just coming out and they flow in the earth surface is called as the lava flow. Some ash is also there, volcanic bomb is also there. Sometimes it creates some clouds called the ash clouds. So these are the so many features that a volcano has. This is the common structure of a volcano. Okay. Try to practice this diagram by your own. Next we discuss the types of volcano. What are the major types of volcano are there? There are mainly 3 types of volcano according to their frequency of eruption. According to their shape and so many things, there are so many types of volcanoes are there, but according if we just divide it on the basis of the frequency of eruption, how frequent they erupted, okay, then these kinds of types are there. There are mainly 3 types like the active volcano, the dormant volcano, and number 3 is the extinct volcano. From this name you may have some idea. At first we have the active volcano, presently in active state and have erupted in the recent past. So they are called as the active volcano. Even at present 500 active volcanoes are found. About 20 of these volcanoes may erupt at any time. They can erupt at any time. Okay. A few of these volcanoes are also in a state of permanent eruption. Some of the examples of this kind of active volcanoes are Mount Etna, Mount Stromboli in Italy, even in Mauna Loa in Hawaii Island, even in Philippines there are some islands. So these are the active volcanoes. They are presently in active state, even they have erupted in the recent past, even they can erupt at any time. This is the picture of the Stromboli volcano. Next we have the dormant volcano. What is dormant type? They have not erupted in recent historical period, so they are regarded as the sleeping volcano. What does it mean? So if you are just sleeping, you can rise at any time, but now you are sleeping. Okay, some examples are Mount Kilimanjaro of Africa. And the last one is the extinct volcanoes. What are those? They neither erupted in the present geological period nor likely to become active again. Some examples of this kind of volcano are the Popa in Myanmar, Mount Aconcagua in South America, Mount Kenya in Africa. These are some examples. So these 3 types of volcanoes that are found all over the world: active, dormant and extinct. What are the bases of this division? Basis is the frequency of their eruption. We have already covered the types of volcanoes. Okay. Next we will discuss what is the major effects of volcano. What are the effects? Okay. Volcanic eruptions that have various effects. Sometimes they can be constructive, sometimes they can be destructive also. Though we have just in the shallow viewpoint, we have that the volcanic activity is just destructive, but not at all they are destructive. In various cases they have the potentiality to create various new landforms also. We will discuss it one by one, what are the various constructive effects that a volcano have. At first, we have volcanic plateaus, volcanic mountains, volcanic plains, caldera lakes, hot spring, geyser. So these are the constructive effects that a volcano has. At first, we have the volcanic plateaus. What are they? In our India, Deccan Plateau in the southern India in Maharashtra portion, this is a volcanic plateau. Some basalt rocks are formed, that is why the Deccan Plateau is of black color. And these are mainly formed due to the fissure eruption. I have already said the eruption is of two types. One is explosive type and another one is the fissure type. When they are just coming out by a volcanic vent and the volcanic cone is there, this is called as the explosive type of eruption. And another one, when two plates are moved apart or any kind of cracks is there, if there is some volcanic activity is done, then this is called as the fissure eruption. Deccan Plateau is mainly formed due to the fissure eruption and with the basalt rock. Next we have the, and another one thing is that various landforms that are created, mainly the extrusive landforms in the earth surface. Okay, numerous types of landforms are created due to the cooling and solidification of magma below the earth surface and lava on the earth surface. The landforms created on the earth surface are called the extrusive landforms. Okay. Next we have the volcanic mountains. At first we discussed about the volcanic plateaus. Next we have the volcanic mountains. Okay. What are those? These mountains are built from material ejected from the fissures in the earth crust. Volcanic mountains are the most diverse because there are great differences in volcanic eruptions as well as the materials they throw up. Volcanic mountains, what are the major examples? Like Mount Fuji is there. Even with that, in Hawaii Island there is Mauna Loa, is a great volcanic mountains. They are very common in the Circum-Pacific belt, include such volcanic peaks like Mount Fuji, okay, Mount Cotopaxi in Ecuador. I will discuss it, what is the fiery ring of the Pacific Ocean or what is the its Circum-Pacific belt. I will discuss it later. Okay. Next we have the volcanic plains. When I have discussed about the various landforms on the earth like the mountains, plateaus and plain, there I have already discussed how the volcanic plains is or the how can volcanic plateaus are formed. In the same way volcanic plain can be formed. Some examples are Victoria Plain or the Western Victorian Plains in the Victoria. Even Australia are some finest example of the volcanic plain. Next we have the caldera and next we have the hot spring and geyser. I will discuss it. And there are some destructive effects, we will discuss it later. Okay. So what are the caldera? You have already some idea about the crater, the mouth of the volcano, and there how the caldera lakes are formed I have discussed. Okay, let's have some look. So nice picture. This is in the Maharashtra in our country. This is the Lonar crater. Okay, this is a caldera lake. How they are mainly formed? During repeated eruptions, the summit of a volcano may be blown up. In its place, a large depression called the caldera is formed. Okay. At first crater is there and after so many times of volcanic eruption, the summit of the volcano may be blown up. That is why large pit is formed. Sometimes it fills with the water. When the precipitation is there or rainfall is there, then filled with water can create the caldera lake. Next, this is the picture of the hot spring. This is found in the Monikaran in the Kulu district of Himachal Pradesh. This is the picture. This is a geyser that are found in the USA, Yellowstone National Park. So these all are just formed due to the volcanic activity or the volcanic eruption. Hot spring, the movement of magma in the interior of the earth that heats up underground water also, particularly around magma chambers. That is why hot springs are formed. Even a geyser is a fountain of hot water and steam that escapes when underground water comes into contact with hot volcanic rock. So the underground water have some contact into the when it has some contact with the hot volcanic rock, then have some steam. Here some steam is also formed, and with that hot water just comes out. This is the geyser. These are some constructive effects of the volcanoes. Next we have various destructive effects. We have already discussed about the constructive effects. Other than that, the lava and ash deposited during an eruption that breaks down to provide valuable nutrients for the soil and thus create the fertile soil, which is very good for agriculture. Like in our Deccan Plateau, it is very much fertile for the cultivation of the cotton. So it is also called as the black cotton soil. But here are some destructive effects. What are those? When the volcanoes erupt, they destroy the life and property. The hot lava together with ash and dust that destroy not only human beings but also animals as well as the plant life. Number 2. Agricultural fields are also covered with layers of volcanic ash and dust that makes them unsuitable for the cultivation. So it has also some negative impact in the agricultural field as they are filled with the volcanic ash, volcanic dust. That is why after some times they will be infertile. So they are not good for the all kind of cultivation. Okay. Huge clouds are formed after the eruption of volcanoes, causing heavy rains which result in floods and landslides in that area. So this will be very devastating with the floods and landslide also, because the volcanic clouds, very high clouds is just formed. Volcanoes also emit poisonous gases, and this is the foremost important, that it sometimes ejects various poisonous gases that affect the plants and human life. Explosive volcanoes in ocean islands are followed by high tsunami waves. They flood the area and sometimes destroy the property, people, animals and crops. So these are the various destructive effects that a volcano have. Okay, we have already covered some constructive effect and the destructive effect of the volcano. Lastly, we will discuss about the important volcanic zones of the world. So what are the major volcanic zones that are found all over the world? First we have the Circum-Pacific Belt, and another one we have the Midworld Mountain Belt. So Circum-Pacific Belt is the most common one and the most devastating volcanic zones. The volcanic activity that are found that occurred near the earthquake belts also. So the volcanic belt is also associated with the major earthquake belt. The Circum-Pacific Belt is also called the Pacific Ring of Fire, or you can say the fiery ring of the Pacific, because over 80% of the total number of active volcanoes that are concentrated in this region. Among these are included 40 active volcanoes in Andes, over 100 in the Philippines, 70 in the Indonesia and 40 in Japan. So many active volcanoes. I have already discussed what are active, what are dormant, what are extinct volcano. So the major volcanoes that are already erupting in the recent days, or they can anytime they can erupt, is the active volcanoes. In this belt we can found some 500 of active volcanoes. Just imagine how much they are. Even the 100 volcanoes, active volcanoes, are present only in Philippines and 70 in Indonesia and 40 in Japan. So these are the Circum-Pacific Belt. This is also called as the fiery ring. Why they are called as the fiery ring? Have some look in the picture. Because there are so many volcanoes that are found and they formed it as like a chain. This is like a ring like feature. Okay, that is why this is called as the fiery ring. Why fire? Because it is associated with the volcanic activity. Hot molten lava is there, eruption is there, so all kind of fire is present. That is why called as the fiery ring of the Pacific. This is the Pacific Ocean, and the volcanoes are mainly situated surrounding the ocean. Like in the North America, here we have various, so they are already associated with the plate margin. Another thing you have to remember, these all is the trench, Aleutian Trench, Japan Trench. Here we have the Kurile Trench. Okay, here all these features are trench, because all the plates are moving towards each other and colliding, or the subsiding plates are there. That is why they are very much active zone, you can say geologically active, and very much active for the volcanic activity and the earthquake also. In Andes there are also Ojos del Salado, the highest, you can say the highest volcanoes that are found in the Andes. Here is also Mount Fujiyama. In Philippines there are 70 active almost 40 active volcanoes. No, in Philippines there are 100 active volcanoes. So all these places are just consist of various active volcanoes. That is why called as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Almost 500 active volcanoes that are present. Mount St. Helens is there, and so many. Okay. Mount Fujiyama is there, and another one is the Mid-World Mountain Belt. Mid-World Mountain Belts are mainly consisting of Mount Etna, Mount Stromboli, Vesuvius, okay, that are located in the Mid-World Mountain Belt. The only active volcano in India, in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, is also located in this belt. The Hawaiian Island, Canary Island, Mount Kenya are all in the Mid-World Mountain Belt. So we have already covered the important volcanic zones of the world. Here we have end this session. We will discuss it in the next session, the another chapter. Okay students, thank you.